What's good? What's good? It's the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Bob Arum in the news, speaking on 3 fighters that he feel like would beat Tank Davis if they were to fight. All right, now I definitely want to go ahead. I'm gonna get into the article, but before I get into the article, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I want to hear you guys' opinion on each of these because you know it's a good topic for debate for all 3 of them. So let's go ahead and get into the article and then I'll give you my opinion. Alright, so shout out to secondsout.com. It says Bob Arum names 3 fighters that will beat Gervonta Davis. Alright. It says Gervonta Davis has only come up against 2 men he couldn't stop inside the distance. He beat them both by unanimous decision. Now, as we all know, I always say this here, bro. A lot of people give Isaac Cruz a lot more credit than what he really deserves because he looked somewhat decent and went the distance with Gervonta Davis. But let's not forget that Tank Davis was fighting him with one hand, bro. The other hand he had messed up. And if you want to say that that's an excuse, I can back up everything I say. Pause, but go watch the fight. At the post-fight interview, they asked Isak, could you tell that he was only fighting with one hand? And even Isak said yes, he noticed that he was only fighting with one hand. So, say what you want. But anyways, the fighters who managed to hear the final bell were German Moraes, a 4-rounder, and Tank's ninth fight. And more recently, Isaac Cruz with the American, with the American injuring his hand halfway or at the halfway stage. All other 28 fighters who have stepped in the ropes with Tank have been subject to knockouts, often delivered with one perfect shot. Some may have been up on the cards, but when Tank turns the screws, it's hard to imagine even the most skilled in the sport not running the trouble. Veteran promoter Bob Arum, however, has identified 3 men he says will have beaten the WBA lightweight world champion. In an interview with Boxing Scene at the top of the year, he named Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko, and Teofimo Lopez. Tank Davis is an excellent fighter and a big attraction. So sure, we like to match Stevenson, Lomachenko, and Lopez in there against Tank Davis and see how well they do, how well they would do. I like our guys to win the fight. All 3 beat Davis. Now, ironically, these are all guys that he promotes, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. But I really believe that. But that's why they do the fights, right? Again, we're open to any of that. I think Davis is the real deal. I think that's why we're talking about him. He's a hell of a performer, a terrific athlete, and a terrific boxer. But so are the other 3, Stevenson, Lomachenko, and Lopez. Until recently, the 92-year-old promoter promoted all 3, though recently missed out on re-signing WBC lightweight world champion Stevenson, who opted instead to link up with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom. Shakur now looks the most likely to land a Tank shot or get in a Tank fight first, setting out a hit list of Joe Cordina on October 12th, number 1 contender William Zepeda, then finally his fellow undefeated American. Arum was in early talks with Tank team for a fight with IBF champion Lomachenko before his man said that due to lack of motivation, he will sit the rest of 2024 out. Lopez, also with top rank promotionally, is a champion up at super lightweight, but is expected to soon make the move to welterweight, extending his gap between Davis and making the fight less likely. Davis is expected to return to the ring later this year, but may struggle to find a worthy dance partner. I can think of a few people I would love to see Tank Davis in there with, but I'm gonna be honest, Shakur is not one of them. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, I'm gonna be honest, all of those fights, except for the Shakur fight, I feel like will be very entertaining. And the reason why I say that Shakur fight, I say except for the Shakur fight, it's not because of what you think. I'm not solely putting the blame on Shakur when I say I don't think that fight will be very entertaining. I actually did a video on this not too long ago, but Tank is the reason why Tank's fights are exciting because we know Tank got that power. At some point, guys like him and Deontay Wilder, they could take time to set up their punches, but we know at some point, eventually that time's gonna come where they land that big shot and something shocking is gonna happen or amazing is gonna happen. But the thing about Shakur and Tank, Tank spends a lot of time. He's not a very active fighter inside the ring, meaning that he spends a lot of time, waiting for an opportunity or, downloading his opponent or whatnot. And Shakur is one that when he gets in there with somebody like Tank, he's not going to give him much to really just many openings to take or whatnot. Shakur is going to be very cautious as well. So I don't really see that fight being as entertaining or whatnot. But as far as the Lomachenko fight and the Teofimo fight, well, I feel like at one point Floyd and Tank's team didn't want that fight with Lomachenko, but as of now, I think that Tank will stop Lomachenko. I'm gonna be honest, I think Tank beats Lomachenko now. They tried to make a fight with Lomachenko, as you guys heard in the article, and Lomachenko says that he's not motivated. I don't know why you wouldn't be motivated for a Tank Davis fight, but whatever. I thought you said you wanted to be undisputed. Tank Davis has a belt, a legitimate title at this point, but whatever, let you tell it. You're not motivated. A lot of people don't call that a duck, but whatever. Excuse me. And then Teofimo Lopez. Now I will say this, bro. I've always felt like Teofimo will be the biggest threat to Tank Davis. I don't know if he beats him, but I do know that both of them got hard punches, and Teofimo is heavy-handed in both of his hands. I just always felt like that would be Tank's biggest challenge because Teofimo, he's athletic as well and can box, and is heavy-handed in both hands or whatnot. So I just always kind of felt like that would be a hard style for Tank. Not necessarily a hard style for Tank, but a hard style for both of them. Both fighters bring something different to the table. But it's looking like Teofimo's, he's calling out Tank. I mean, not Tank. He's calling out Terrence Crawford and talking about moving up to 47 to 54. So I don't know how likely that fight is, but I do know that we still could possibly get Shakur Stevenson and Vasily Lomachenko in there with Tank, and I would actually love that fight. Now, personally, I would love to see Tank fight Williams Zepeda next. If we're not going to get one of those fighters, because for one, Williams Zepeda is, it's kind of right up the alley of guys that Tank likes to fight, and the team's undefeated, so I kind of want Tank is on like a four fight undefeated streak or whatever. He's been the last 4 fights that he's been fighting is undefeated. I kind of want Tank to get that going or whatnot, but keep that going or whatever. But that's not really the big deal. Besides the point is, I think that Williams Zepeda and Tank will make a great fight or entertaining fight. I think Tank will stop Williams Zepeda, but it's for what I hear, it's looking like Williams Zepeda is more interested in trying to get a fight with Tevin Farmer, which I can understand where that direction is going, seeing how he's rumored to have a fight with Shakur Stevenson coming January or February. So he wants to get in there with a slick southpaw. Maybe not as good as, maybe Tevin Farmer is not as good as Shakur, but at least to give him some type of idea or prepare him for Shakur Stevenson. So I can understand that or whatnot. So we probably won't get Tank versus. And what's crazy is Tank would be the highest. That'd be a big fight, and it'd be pretty easy to sell. Seeing how both of them are, have majority of their wins by knockout. I'm talking about Tank and Williams Zepeda. I think that would be an easier fight to sell, but it is what it is. Williams Zepeda's gonna go ahead and fight Shakur Stevenson. Both with Matchroom now. Both with the Zone. Williams Zepeda's with Golden Boy. Shakur Stevenson is with Matchroom now. So that seems more likely. So I don't know what Tank is going to do. I don't know who Tank is going to fight or what possible options there are for him, or even if he does fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes the rest of this year without fighting. That's kind of like what the whole PBC does. So, excuse Excuse me, I'm tired, y'all. But regardless, man, listen, I think Tank can beat all these guys. But I think T.O. would be his biggest challenge. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?